Hey Flosstube, it is Michelle from Made by Michelle McGraw, and this is Flosstube number 43. So this is going to be a probably part one of a whip parade. I got a lot of responses on my last Flosstube that said you guys wanted to see a Flosstube of whip parades, and no judgment. I love all the people who say no judgment for how many whips I have. I have a lot. I will preface this with, I always think you can't ever finish something unless you start it. And starting it is what takes me the longest to set up, to pull the threads, to pick the material, to get, how am I going to hold my pattern? I use a pattern holder, a magnetic pattern holder. What hoop am I going to use? My needle, just all of the things that you have to do when you start a project. How many strands of floss am I going to use? Just all of that. So for me, that takes a while. It takes a while to figure out, where am I going to start? Am I going to start a middle start? Am I going to start on the top left, which is a lot of times I start top left, but not always. So all of those things factor into starting a project, where once I start it, I can grab a bag off the shelf and boom, I'm started. I can get to stitching in less than 5 minutes, setting up everything, even if I don't even have any of it out. So it doesn't take me long once I start a project. So for me, if it's on my radar, if I have a fabric that I like, I don't mind starting it. I also don't mind putting a project on the shelf for an extended period of time if I'm just not feeling like stitching on it. Stitching is my relaxation. It's my enjoyable time. And if for some reason a project is frustrating me at that moment, and it can be for a variety of reasons, I don't want to stitch on it. I might not stitch on it for a while. There went Sammy, the kind of cat. We don't see her very often, so point her out. There's the cat. You'll see my dogs, because they're all walking around and not settled at all. So anyhow, I love the fact that people said no judgment how many ever whips you have. I have gotten, in just preparing for this whip parade, last week I did some organizing in my craft room, and I got rid of 3 projects that I had previously were whips. They went into UFOs. They were very small starts, and they were something that I just didn't think I wanted to get back to at this time. So I cut the remainder fabric off and saved the fabric, and so I got rid of all that. 3. So I am down a little bit. These are going to be the ones that are on my shelf. So I'm going to start off with kind of older ones that are on the shelf, not my current ones, because I have added a couple recently and I've been working. So my goal for 2021 is to work on smalls. I have tons and tons of patterns that I've collected over the years. My sister and I have collected them. We've cross-stitched, my mom cross-stitched. So we have a lot of patterns, especially between all of us. So my goal is to stitch some of these smalls for my dough bowl, for my tray, in with working in my larger projects. So my larger projects are kind of taking a hold, do a little bit of smalls, work on my project. Do a little bit of smalls, work on another large project. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. There's Levi. He's walking around looking for random food that has fallen on the floor. That's not there because they have licked the hardwoods. It's not my favorite thing, by the way. So anyhow, that's where I'm at this year. I really want to work on these smalls, but none of those are in this whip parade. It may come up. At the end of the whip parade, I will give you my last video, because I'm going to cut this into parts. I'm going to give you a total of how many whips I have. So there may be 1 or 2 of these that are going to be leaving me. I have one in particular that I have in mind that I didn't cut before that I think I might be getting rid of. We'll see. Okay, so let me get a sip here. in I call it my Katie mug. So my friend Katie Stitching, we are doing a Sal together, a Sparrow Among the Lilies. Sal, which is the pattern from Heartstring Samplery, and she had these mugs made and they're so cute. So I have my drink in here just in case I get dry and talking a lot. Okay, the other part of business that I have a giveaway from last week. I want to go ahead and get that out of the way so that I can get this pattern in somebody's hands. And then I have a giveaway for this week, and I'm going to go over that just a little bit. Okay, so last week's giveaway was the stitching shells from Galliana Cross Stitch. She so nicely provided this as a free giveaway to my viewers. And I did the random generator. There was over 100 comments that had entered. All you had to do was say the name Galliana and Karen Monich. I probably killed your last name. Monnich. Karen, you have won the free PDF. So Karen, get a hold of me. Either you can get me a message from madebymichellemcgraw at gmail.com, or you can send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram name is madebymichellemcgraw as well. And you can send it to either of those. Give me your email, your name, and I will send the PDF to you. Congratulations. So that's awesome. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the giveaway for this week. So if you comment on this video, you're going to say the word, let me write this down so I don't forget, floss. Okay, now, I will say this, because the post office is so bad right now, I am only going to do US viewers for this one. Because I can mail this from my home and I don't have to go to the post office. And our post office, the one closest to me, is really small. I don't want to go in right now. We're having a lot of surging. I live near Charlotte, North Carolina, so we're a big city. We're having a lot of cases. I'm going to stay out of places that I think are probably not the best for me to go in. So this is for US only, but what I'm giving away is a pack of floss. Okay. All right. So let me explain what this is. This is floss from theeasystitch.com. Their full site is www.shop.theeasystitch.com. Okay. And what they do is they have, and I'm not going to open this because this is going to be somebody's. They have floss, and as you can see, they use DMC numbers on their floss. Okay. So they gave me a pack to try, and they gave me a pack to give to my subscribers. So this is the giveaway. This is great. I understand people are diehard. They love DMC. I get that. Trust me, I use DMC. I also use Fancy Floss, which is normally DMC based. I get it. This is a different floss. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's the off-brand floss. It's probably like a CXC floss that they have. So this is a lot cheaper than DMC. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, in some areas, it's very hard to get DMC right now. There's a lot of colors that are out, people can't find them, which is great. We're doing a lot of stitching, but it's also hard if you wanna kit something up. If you are a diehard DMC person and you're like, I don't wanna stitch with anything else, I get it. Consider this for smalls. If you're doing a sampler and you wanna stick to tried and true DMC, I get that. I totally get that. For smalls that go in a dough bowl, you're not gonna wash them. They're gonna get wear and tear by being out in your home. They're gonna get dust. A small is a great way to use off-brand floss that is cheaper and that you can get it. I have used the CXC floss. I like it. I have also used this floss. I like it. I will actually say, I think it knots less than some of my DMC, and I think it's because of the makeup. I like it also, excuse me, it feels a little silky. So I believe it's the makeup of the floss that helps with that. Excuse me. So I actually really liked it. I thought it was easy to separate the strands. They did not from that. Sometimes DMC will not on me. I really liked it. Like I said, I get it. If you have a sampler that you want to pass down to generations and you're like, I don't want to stitch on anything other than DMC, I get that. But when you're doing these little smalls that are going to go up seasonally, this is a great money-saving alternative. So if you would like to try the floss pack, this is what you'll get, the exact one. Put the word floss in your comment. You have to be US citizen, or I'm sorry, not a US citizen. You have to live in the US. I guess you don't have to be a US citizen, but you have to have a US address. How about that? Excuse me. So if you would like the floss, you'd like to try it, there you go. I will tell you, I've used it. I've enjoyed it. I think it gives good coverage. I think it's nice to stitch with. And I think I'll be buying more, especially when I do smalls. I think this is a great money-saving opportunity. So I will put all of that information down in the comment box below. Please keep in mind, when I upload a video, it takes a little bit for me to go back in and edit the video. So give me a chance, okay? So, give me a little bit of time. I will add the links, okay? So say floss in your comment and you'll be entered for that giveaway. Okay, those are the two things I wanted to get done before I did anything else. Okay, I had roughly, and I may not have every single finish on this list, but I had 42 finishes in 2020. I went back and did another count and 42 finishes. So I think that that's pretty good for my total. I already have 3 finishes for 2021, so that's pretty good. I'm doing smalls this year, so I should have more than I had last year. So in fairness, three of those are smalls already, but a finish is a finish, right? So let's jump into it, and I'm going to pull the cards. So if you've never seen my filing system, I showed it in a Flosstube before. I use a card file. I got this on Amazon, and I make my own card system from cardstock because I had a bunch of cardstock from when I scrapbooked. And that's what I have. It's easy. I put all of my information on it. I make my own cards, and then I file them alphabetically. So I will pull the card so I can tell you information about each whip. Okay. Let's see here. And I hope this doesn't take too long to do it this way, but I think that's the easiest way for me to be able to find the card and give you the information. Okay. Here is the right card that I need. All right, my first whip is from Bossy Threads, Fairy Tales Peter Pan. So this was a kit. It comes with all the floss that you need and the fabric. I will say I changed out the fabric from something I had in stash. I saved the other one, but I changed the fabric. The stash, that fabric that I used is also 14 count, so it's the same size. I'm using the floss that comes with it. I think everything is black except there's some silver in it. And let me see. I think I'm using the silver that comes, no, I changed the silver to Petite Treasure Braid because it's easier to stitch with. So I did make a change on that, but I'm using the black floss. Okay, and here's the fabric that I chose. It is a Fabric Flare fabric. I just don't know what name it is. So there's my start on it, and I have Tinkerbell up in the corner. So I'm in that upper left-hand corner. Where is she? Up here. That's my progress. Not too much. I haven't put too much time into this, but this is a pretty easy stitch. So I need to get going on this. I do like it. I like it a lot. And I have a Tinkerbell needle minder. No idea where I got it from. Probably Etsy. Excuse me. I'm always slightly congested after I eat and in the morning. It's allergies, so I don't know what good that is. I have this in a bag that I made, which is zombies. So I used Vanna Pfeiffer's tutorial. I just changed the dimensions so it's a little bit bigger. Okay, let's see. I know what this is. I'm going to pull, yep, here's the card. Okay, this next one, sorry, I have a hair on me. Ah, sorry. Okay, this is Early Americans. I am doing John Hancock. I think this just had a 1-day start on it. So here's the pattern. It's from Little House Needleworks. And this is a series. And I'm doing these for my dough bowl. Draco was upside down. I am stitching these on 28 count Sandstorm from Crosswing Collection. And I have subbed just a little bit for colors I didn't have. I started this in May, so this must be a Stitch Mania start. I do have the other charts. So if you've never seen these, I can show you them right quick. This is Patrick Henry, Martha Washington. That's a big old house. Betsy Ross, Abigail Adams. This is the Freedom one, which is supposed to be, if you do it as a whole project, it's the middle square. Paul Revere. Sorry. Nathan Hale. And Molly Pitcher. So those are all on the list to be done. They're all in this bag. All the floss is in there. They will be all done in minis for my dough bowl. And I have that in a bag that I made with some fabric. And I also quilted it slightly. I do need to redo the Velcro. And I'm not sure if you could see this. See how one is picking up? I got some Velcro that I don't normally use, and it was super, super sticky. And I was like, oh, great, it will work so good. It did not work good. It is lifted up everywhere that I haven't sewed it. And I always, even if it's sticky Velcro, I just tack it down a little bit. I'm going to actually pull that Velcro off and redo it. It was an off-brand that I got, and I can say I don't like it. I will not be using that again. I mean, you can see the difference here. My Velcro hasn't lifted at all. So I'm going to stick with the name brand Velcro for now on. Okay, next whip. This is, Okay, this is Main Street from Country Cottage Needleworks. This was a Stitch Mania start this past year. I have patterns all over the place, so I also have some needles in there. That needs to come out. Okay, make sure that's not, yeah. All right, so this was a Stitch Mania start. That is my start. I am doing these in a strip. That's my fabric. The fabric is 28 count Sky from Crosswing Collection. I am doing, whoops, my bag fell down onto one of the dogs, so he moved. I am doing 4 stores, no spaces in between them. So there'll be 4 of the stores, no spaces. Let me show you the patterns. I do have another section of material to do another set. So like these are clipped together because these would be my other set that I would do at a later time. So this one is the coffee shop. Let me just show them. coffee shop, art gallery, grocer, that's my dog drinking, Main Street dress shop, and the gazebo. Okay, those will be in another selection, and I don't know if they will all be in there. I'm going to see. But I divided them up by color. So in this block will be, this is Main Street Bakery, which is what I started with. And then it will have the post office, the street cafe, and the bookstore. And literally I went through and said, I don't want 2 blue houses or 2 blue stores. So this goes in that set, this one goes in that set. That's how I divided them. So we'll work on one strip and then start maybe the second strip at another time. But that was a Stitch Mania start. I don't think I've gotten much into it, maybe a day. So that's okay. Okay, this is, I need to take the box out of this bag. Well, now I'm curious where my card is. Oh, maybe it's under the C's. Okay, I don't know where my card is for this one. So see, that's where I'm gonna have a problem. Maybe I have it in here. Okay, this is Coming to America, which is from With Thy Needle and Thread. And I got the kit, which also has this Harvest Blessing pattern. I probably need to take that out so I can do that at another time. And let me show you my progress. I did start this. I only started it one day and I put it down. I found another needle. Okay, I'm gonna have to make a card for this one apparently. This is Coming to America. This is my start. It's not fantastic, it's not a lot, that's it. There's my fabric, it came in the kit. I got my kit from Sassy Jacks. I ordered it. I did start it, I haven't been back to it. So a lot of times when I order when I do a sal and everybody is stitching it, I don't know, I get wrapped up in seeing what they're doing and then I forget to stitch on it myself. So it will get love, it will get done. I love the fact that it's like a banner shape, which I just like working on that. But it just hasn't got a lot of time. But I did start it. So I need to stick a card here so I can remember to make a card for it since I don't have one. Okay, this one is, oh, I know what this is, but I cannot remember the name of it. Okay, this is called Stitcher's House. Let me find my card so I can tell you the fabric. Okay, this is Stitcher's House by Stone Street Stitchworks. I started this in 2019 and I shouldn't even tell you that because it is ridiculously, I just need to do it. It is beautiful from Stone Street Stitchworks. I love it. I still love it. There are patterns that I often say are deceivingly big. This one is deceivingly small. Well, I thought it was. It's beautiful. I love the colors. I'm using the Call for DMC. This is a piece of fabric from Stash. I guarantee you it's a picture of this plus. I just don't know what color it is. it looks like it's a 14 count Ada. It's beautiful. I love this. This actually needs to come off the shelf and just needs to be stitched because I could put a couple days into that and finish it. So there's no reason why I should not be stitching that one. Matter of fact, we'll throw that one over to put that in a different pile. So that maybe I'll put it on my little shelves. How about that? All right, the next one is, this is a free pattern, so I'm gonna have to show you the pattern because there's not a cover page, but you can go get the pattern. It's from Aurifil, and it is Little Quaker Halloween. So here's the pattern. It's free, you can go get it. I chose my own colors for this, and this is another one that I just need to get back to and finish because it doesn't have much to go. It has, let's see, I have like that side of the pattern to do. So I really don't have that much to do. I really like it. I think I have to finish this motif down here and finish a little bit in here. But it doesn't have that much, so I need to get back to stitching that. But I'm also sitting here looking and I'm thinking, why did I have such a big hoop for that project? I'm gonna change that hoop because it doesn't need to be that big. It's kind of crazy. Alrighty. That was 14 count fabric flare whitewash board. Once again, it's a freebie from the Fat Quarter Shop is where I found it. And I started that in 2019. I picked my own colors. I need to finish it. Okay. I don't even know if I should show this because it is a whip, but I don't think it qualifies as a whip. I am keeping it because it's one that I want to do and I just need to finish it or start it. This is Christmas Magic from Heart and Hand. This is one that I'm going to do. I'm just going to stitch it up for my tree myself, most likely. That's what my intention was anyhow. And I started it a tiny little start. I don't know why I never got back to it. It's kitted. It's ready to go. I think this is a Dot Dot Goose bag. Yes, it's a Dot Dot Goose design bag. So for littles, I really like these bags. As you can see, my magnetic pattern holder, which is this black thing, fits in these bags because I use the smaller one. I have some of the bigger ones. I have some of this size, and I don't like them as much because they take up too much room. That goes with a project that I will show next because it doesn't fit in my bag, most of my bags. It would fit in mine that I hand make, but this is, okay, this is called November by Prairie Schooler. And I am working on this one. And I started this in 2019. I am stitching this on 14 count Driftwood Heritage with called for DMCs. Let me show you my progress on this one. I'm going to take this out of the hoop. Once again, why do I have this in such a large hoop? I have no idea. It's kind of silly. Like, it's ridiculously big for this project. This is a mess. Okay. This is my progress. So I've done the top, the wording, and I'm down to the top of the trees in the house. So I'm in here. So I'm halfway done. I just need to finish it. I don't know why I haven't finished it. I really like the pattern. I love all prairie schoolers. I've had that for years and years, and I just need to finish it. I also need to get a smaller magnetic board because this magnetic board is huge for this project. I don't know why I did that. Alrighty. All right, the next one is the Nutcracker Parade. And I don't think, let me see. Yes, I do. Okay. The Nutcracker Parade from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. There is the finished part. It was a sal, so it came out in pieces. And finally, a more reasonable sized hoop. But I need to take it out of the hoop to show you my progress. This was stitched on 14 count Masquerade, and I started this in 2019. And I need to get back to it. So I have the first part done. I was really good. Oh, it's really wrinkly. I was really good at keeping up with it. And then I moved over to the coach, which I did in a sparkly treasure braid and doing the whole coach in it. And that was part 2. So the coach, instead of doing the yellow, I did it in the sparkly. I need to get back to this one because I think it's cute. I really like it. Gosh, that's awful wrinkle, but you get the idea. I still like it. I still want to finish it. I love everything Frosted Pumpkin. So yeah, I need to get back to that one. Oh, okay. The next one is stuck. Okay. Kringle and Woodlard from Plum Street Samplers. And this I'm stitching on 14 count fabric flare. It doesn't say what the fabric is. And I have made floss changes just because I used what I had. So let me take it out of the hoop so you can see, which is probably what I should do anyhow. I shouldn't store it in the hoop because that's silly. I should probably be taking the hoop out. Okay. This is my progress. Not much. Yeah. I was going to stitch on this Christmas and I didn't. I started that in 2019. I didn't stitch on it this year. But, you know, when I want to do some Santa stitching, that's a really nice pattern. I still love it. So I need to work on that. Okay, this is 12 Oaks from Country Magic Stitch. And I started this, whoops, I forgot to put the pattern back in the bag. And oh my goodness, can you imagine me going back to stitch this and not having the pattern? That would be awful. Okay, I started this, let me get out my card. Let's see, I started this during Stitch Mania. My idea was to start some more of my vintage travel posters. I use a 14 count opalescent. I tent stitch these. And I started this in May of 2020. And I recently took a road trip down to Atlanta and I pulled it out because these are perfect for me stitching in the car projects. So I literally had just a little bit stitched up in the corner as a start, and I've worked a little bit more on the first page. So that was actually in my whips for this week. I don't think I'll show it as a whip again because you've already seen it. I use called for threads and I tent stitch them. So it is a 4-page pattern. I find the patterns very easy, blocks of color, and I really enjoy stitching on all of them. I love the themes of them. This one is 12 Oaks from Gone with the Wind. There's Star Wars, there's Harry Potter, there's Game of Thrones, there's Batman. I mean, there's so many in that style, so I love them. And this is in my Hermione bag that I made using Vanna's tutorial. Okay. And these were ones that were on my shelf in my craft room. Just means right now they're not getting actively worked, but they are very easy to go and pull at any time from that shelf. So this is also Verlanden, and this is from Quiltify. Let me make sure. Quiltify Design. They're on Etsy, and I actually stitched this one. Started it in Vegas. This was my only project I took to Vegas with me. And I don't think I've stitched on it since I've been home. So this was all work in Vegas. It is 18 count Aida natural linen. And I am using Classic Colorworks Ribbon Red for the whole sampler. So that was my progress. I love the fact that this is a classic redwork sampler with a twist with those skulls. I love that. I need to get back to this. I think because I took it and I worked on it for an entire week in Vegas and I didn't do anything else, it kind of burned me out and I haven't picked it up, but I'm ready. This is in my So Much to Love bag from So Much to Love. She's on Etsy. And I'm telling you, these are some of my favorite bags. All-time favorite bags. These are beautifully made bags. And I have quite a lot of her bags because I truly love them. Okay. The next one is called Firework Lane from Little Stitch Girl. This was a Stitch Mania start. I'm using Moonless Witch's Sky 14 count from Stitchery Express. This is the pattern. Little 4th of July street. I don't have much on this. I'm going to keep it in the hoop because all my progress is in the hoop. So that was my one-day start for Stitch Mania. I think I've only worked on it one day. So, as you can see, I have way to go, but I love, love, love the fabric that I chose for this because it's that dusk sky is what I think. So, perfect for fireworks. The fireworks showed up on it. I loved that. That Moonless Witch's Sky fabric, I have actually used it on a couple of patterns and I really, really like it. So that may be one that I get more of. I still love this pattern. Want to work on it. This bag is in, or that project is in Nikki's Notables bag, which is a Disney bag. Really cute. I'm sure I got it on Etsy. Okay, what is this? Okay, this is one that I am not getting rid of, but I am changing from my original, start, I guess I should say. So, this is Autumn Sampler from the Frosted Pumpkin. Let me show you. So, FYI, there is a couple of versions of this pattern, and some of them have the numbers like mine do, and some don't. Or I shouldn't say some don't. A version does not. So I started this, and I was just going to stitch it just like it is. I think it's adorable. My problem is I don't really have a place to display something as big as this for seasonal. So what I thought is, because I do love it, I am using this on Fabric Flare Speckled Hen. I adore it. It's 14 count. So what I think I'm gonna do, now you can see why I adore the fabric. I have 2 blocks done. No, I think there's some more in this block. Yeah, there's a little swirl I need to add and finish the leaves. The leaves have stems, so I need to finish the leaves. This block's done. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 4 of my favorite blocks or 3 of my favorite blocks, but I don't know. I was thinking 4 and do 1, 2, 3, 4 and make that into a little pillow. Pick another 4, pick another 4, and pick another 4. So I would have 16 of the 25 blocks. And there's plenty that I like on here. And that way I could do them into little pillows for my dough bowl. And I definitely have places to put those. So like, I really like the squirrel. I like the pumpkin. I like, there's a scarecrow on here somewhere. I'm trying to look at it backwards. I like the deer. And just pick my favorites and make them, pair them up, and then make them into, as you can see, my fabric is already folded how I would do it. I am not a sewing expert, so I like to leave big margins around my stuff that I'm going to sew because I'm never quite sure how I'm going to finish it. I think I'm going to finish these into pillows, but in case I change my mind. So to me, if I put 2 more down here, I would have enough of a border. And then I would have 3 other pieces to work with. And I actually think I'm really happy with that plan. I think I would really, that would be fine with me. I left the numbers off when I stitched them. I never put the numbers on because I didn't really like the numbers. I thought the numbers were, like I didn't know what it was the numbers were for. Was it countdown to Thanksgiving? That didn't work. There's 25 days. Was it countdown to what? I didn't really know. So I didn't know what the numbers were for, so I just left them off, which is fine. I do have this in another So Much to Love Wizard of Oz bag. Love that. That's actually one that's going to get some work. Okay, this is a great way for me to go back and look at projects in a different perspective, and then fall back in love with them, really. Okay, this is Shenandoah from Carriage House Samplings. And I really love this one. I love the horse, and I love the fact that it is across the wide Mississippi, or I'm sorry, the wide Missouri. I said Mississippi, and I don't know why. Wide Missouri. I lived in Missouri for 3 years, something like that when I was little. And so I loved that. I think it's beautiful. This is being stitched on 18 count granite from Be Stitch Me. And there's my start. Not too much, but it's a lot of stitches because this is 18 count, so it's teeny, teeny, tiny. But I really, really love this. I love this on this fabric, and I think it'll look great once I get it done. And that I probably need to stitch on. Let's see. I started that in January of 2020. This is in my So Much to Love bag as well. Just pretty. Okay. Okay, I know that I do not have a large start on this one. This is Land That I Love from Teresa Kogert. And I really love it. I am stitching this on 28 count Sandstone Lugana from Crosswing Collection. And I think I'm using all called for threads. I didn't make a note. Oh, yes, I did. I substituted blue corn for General Arts dungarees, probably because I couldn't find it. And then I substituted 712 for 3865 so that my white showed up. So that is my start. That's it. That's all I got. Although the fabric is beautiful. this is a big project. The fabric I love. I don't remember when I started this. I started in July. I don't think I've stitched on it since then. Probably need to because it's a beautiful, beautiful sampler. Whoops, I forgot to put my pattern back as well. And I have the book pattern that's spiral bound. I make a working copy, so I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't know that I needed it spiral bound, but, and maybe that was the only option. I don't know. Okay, moving along. All right, whoops. This wants to fall off my lap. Okay, this is Through the Storms by Silver Creek Samplery. If I can sign my original pattern, I can see my working copy. I just can't see the original pattern yet. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is Through the Storms. I love the sentiment on this one. So the sentiment is, no relationship is all sunshine, but two people can share one umbrella and walk through the storms together. And I just think that's sweet. I think that's a sweet sentiment. And here is my progress. I am stitching this on 28 count over the rainbow fabric from Crosswing Collection. And I thought that was the perfect fabric for that sentiment. And once again, I need to get back to that because I actually really like it. Okay, this pattern is not available on Etsy anymore, but I know last time somebody asked me about it and they had an email, and it is berberdesigns.sf@gmail.com. Right up top. It is called Christmas Vacation. And it says, when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's going to find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house. Clark Griswold. So I love that. It is a big project. I am stitching this on 16 count Tyco from Picture This Plus, and I am stitching this in 115 from DMC. It's a beautiful variegated red. And you really don't notice the variegation until you stitch with it, and it's so pretty. So I don't have much of this done. It is so big, but I really love it. So I probably should stitch this on like 20 count, but I'm not restarting it because it's a lot of stitches. Like I said, I don't think that they're on Etsy anymore, but I do know that somebody last time I showed it contacted them via email and was able to purchase the pattern from them. So you might want to try that. Once again, I'll show that. It is berberdesigns.sf@gmail.com. And this is one of my favorite bags. And they don't have a name on it. I bought it from a lady on Instagram. She would show the bags and then you would comment on it and you could buy them. So, wait a minute, let me see. Made by Sharon Snow. So maybe you could look at her up. Maybe she has an Etsy now. But it's quilted. It's beautiful. This is a very, very nicely made bag. So if I could find her again, I would totally buy more bags from her. Okay, this is Quaker Christmas 2 from Bygone Stitches. And it is a big Quaker. It is beautiful. It calls for Gentle Arts Currant and Gentle Arts Blue Spruce, but you could use any green and any red. I used the called for just because I ordered it that way. Oh, I do not have much done. So So I am doing this on 14 count Weeks Dye Works linen with 1 strand. That's it. That's all I got. I started that as a Stitch Mania. I really love it, and I love the fabric. I need to get back to it. So eventually, this is in my So Much to Love bag as well. Okay. This is one that I actually think is going to be a ditch. And it's not that I don't love the pattern. It's not that I don't love stitching on it. My problem is I don't think I have anywhere to display a Halloween Quaker that's this big. But I would like to do pieces of this for like Halloween ornaments or for dough bowl. So this is Thine is the Trick and the Treat from Prairie Moon. I do really love it. I think I bought this as a PDF. They have some PDFs on their site now. Their PDFs are pricey if you did not originally buy them. It is what it is. If you want their PDF, that's their price. This is being stitched on 18 count Murky, just using 310. So when I look at it, it doesn't look like it'll be that big, but it's a big piece for me to leave out to frame and everything for Halloween, for such a seasonal piece. So I do think that I'm probably going to change this up. I think what I would like to do is, sorry, let me get that back in the bag, is like stitch just this motif, the witch motif, maybe the cat motif, maybe the skulls and the bird, and maybe that's it, and call it done. So I think this is one that is going to change. I don't think I'm going to stitch it the way I originally planned. That's okay. Okay, I'm getting down low on this. Okay, this is Pilgrims of Plymouth. Let me get the card so I can tell you what fabric I used. This is from Twin Peak Primitives, and I am using 18 count Spice from Picture This Plus. Apparently this piece of fabric annoyed me, so I put my needle minder over it to hold it from the back. That's my start. Not a lot. I love the pattern. Let me show you the pattern. I don't think I showed that. I love the pattern. I think it's beautiful. That was my working copy. I just need to work on that some more. I'll probably work on that this fall because it has a lot, so I probably won't get it finished. This one is being stored in my squirrel bag from So Much to Love. Once again, I love her bags. Okay. Oops, I think I banged the table, sorry. All right, this is Game of Thrones from Wild Violet Cross Stitch. This is Game of Thrones Epic Story Sampler. And I really do love this. Now, I did not choose any of the colorways that she suggested. I just picked my own of what looked good on the fabric. So I'm not supporting any house, just so you know. She does have a colorway if you want to do it for the Targaryens, for the Stark, you do it in blue, or for Lannister house, you would do it in like these golds. I chose, I'm working it on putty and light khaki from Weeks. And it's just what I liked on the fabric, and it showed up. And let me put something behind it so you can see. And that's my progress. And I really like it on the black fabric. It is 18 count black Ada. So I do have the horse kind of done, one of them. Yeah. There's a lion. That border is no joke, but as you can see, it is beautiful. Like, it is a piece of art. Love it. And I started that in March of last year. Okay. Okay, this is Welcome to Rivendell. I started this in Stitch Mania from Country Magic Stitch. And this is from Lord of the Rings. And I don't think I had but a day start. So as you can see, it's a big project, one of my vintage travel posters. There's my start. I do color completes on those because that's the easiest way for me to stitch them. So, Welcome to 12 Oaks got some love. This one might get some love on my next travel, or if I just feel like stitching on those. Throughout the year, my plan is to get some of these, some stitching on them. Trips, those are good trip projects for me to take, so I do like to take them on trips, but I can't get them done just stitching on trips. I don't go that many places. Okay, let's see. This one, I'm trying to think how I have it because it has a couple of names. Okay, this is a kit. Did I buy this as a kit? I might have bought this as a kit. It is Harriet Ringrose. Let me try to balance this somehow. It's an English Christmas Sampler 1852. I adore this pattern from the Scarlet Letter. And it is Mary and Joseph's trip. That's the whole sampler is their trip. And there's all kinds of beautiful phrases up here that talk about it. It's Mary and Joseph's flight into Egypt. So it's beautiful. I love it. I am stitching this. I got this at Country Stitchers, and I'm stitching this with silks. I'm not going to take it out of the hoop, although once again, I think it needs a smaller hoop. It is beautiful. Those colors, those silks are popping. All of the lettering is over 1. Yeah. It is, I don't know what material this is. This might be 40 count. I'm not sure. Maybe a 32 count. I didn't write it down. I got it as a kit, so I'm not sure which comes with the kit. Let's see. It doesn't tell me. Oh, a 32 count linen is what I think it is. Yeah, because it says 32 count linen. It's a stiffer linen. I'm not crazy about it, but it does look really pretty stitched on it. It's just not my favorite to stitch with, but it is very, very pretty. And I love stitching with the MPI silks. Yeah. Love it. I need to get back to that. I just don't like doing the over 1 words. And of course, I found out after the fact that I'd already started the words, that most people do the over 1 intent. And I'm like, oh, that would have been so much easier. I didn't think about that. Okay, this is I'm trying to do this one-handed and that doesn't work well, so I just need to stop doing that. It is Alice from Ari TM, and it is a Quaker style. Love it. I am stitching this on 32 count Cocoa from Weeks Dye Works. Let me take this out of the hoop because it does have progress above the hoop. Ouch, I just got my hair. I see a string, so I'm trying to find my needle. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, there it is. I don't want to lose my needle. Let me put my needle on my needle minder in the pattern. I always have a needle minder on my pattern. Normally one on my project, but for some reason I don't on this one. And this is where I'm at. Oh, you cannot see it very well because it's so wrinkly. I have Alice is done, and then I've moved down to the Quaker. So it's beautiful. I love it. I need to go back to stitching it. And this is in my Alice bag that I made, but it's actually Alice fabric. So, yeah, I really like it. It's got like, see, you can see the little Mad Hatter. There's Alice, the chairs. Love that fabric. All right. We're getting to the end here of this section. Don't worry, I have more whips. Okay, Buy Local from Twin Peak Primitives. Now, I told you about the one project that I thought was deceptively small, that it looked bigger than it is. Twin Peak Primitives is deceptively like bigger than you think it is. Beautiful patterns. I love them. Buy Local, beautiful farm. But they're big patterns. I am stitching this on 16 count Country French golden needle. That is all my start. Working on that flag border and that tree, and it is massive. I have found out that I really don't like stitching on 16 count. 16 count is my weird zone. It's not teeny tiny and it's not big. It's like this weird in between, and I think two strands look crowded on it sometimes. So for me, 16 count isn't, I don't know, it's not my favorite. But I've changed. Like I literally like 18 count fabric. So I kind of changed. Okay, let's see here. All right, my next one is God Save the Queen from Annie B's Folk Art. And I am trying to fit this on this material from, it's 30 count Prim Bee linen from Primitive Hair. And it does have like some hive stuff on it. And there is my start on there. And I really don't have that much more to go to finish this. I mean, there is, but there isn't. So I need to put some time in this. This actually will get time when I bring out spring and summer finish stitching, because I want that as part of my bee display. And I probably will keep the muted colors that I used for this. I don't think I substituted any because I don't have any wrote down, but maybe I did. Yeah, I see DMC. So, oh, I used the DMC. This was charted with MPI silks, and I didn't use MPI silks. So I did use the DMC, but I like those colors. So I might, on my other bee patterns, use these colors and kind of keep the same colors. This is in my Outlander bag from So Much to Love. It was a clearance bag at one time, and I snatched it. I think it was clearance, or it was like last call, but Outlander, hello. All right, this is my final whip for this whip parade, and I'm at an hour, so I'm sure like you're tired of hearing me talk. Okay, this is kind of a whip, but not really. So this year, this is Para Pilgrims, and I stitched Miles, and I finished him. I showed him in one of my floss tubes because I finished him. but I have Priscilla to stitch. So I kept everything in here and the fabric, but technically I haven't started Priscilla yet. So I need to start her, but I kept her in the bag, and technically that whip is not done because that fabric isn't done and those flosses aren't done. And I have the buttons in there. Erin, I put the buttons in the bag. She'll be so happy to know that. So this is not, I don't have any progress, but I need to finish Priscilla so that I can be done with the chart. So those are my whips for right. That was one shelf in my craft room. So I am going to finish this video and wrap it up, and then I'm going to see how much longer my husband's going to be outside, and I might film part 2, which is another shelf. I have to put all these whips back and film another shelf, and we'll see. So I'm not done yet, but this was part 1, and I'll be back in a little while with part 2.